This week we're going to alternate practicing finding equations in y equals mx plus b form from 2 points. I'm going to do that today. And then solving equations for x like you've been doing for the last 4 weeks. Your test at the end of 2 weeks will have equations and a couple points where you have to write those 2 points as an equation in y equals mx plus b form. Please make sure that you headed your paper 11-3-14 and write down the 2 points. I just want to remind you, today it's fine for you to kind of follow along with me, although always try to work ahead if you can and think about what you're doing. Don't just copy. You do have how to do this in your interactive math notebook. So after today, when I'm reminding you, it would be good if you tried to use your notes as a reminder instead of following the video step by step. Okay, here we go. First thing we have to do is we have to find the slope. And as a reminder, whenever you're writing a linear equation, you need 2 things. You need the m, and you need the b. Okay, we find the m first, and then we find the b. Okay, so first I like to write these 2 equations almost as if they were in a table so that I can find the change in y and the change in x. If it helps you, make this a table. X, y. Okay, change in y. What is that? 3. Change in x. What is that? 2. Okay, what do you do with these 2 numbers? Rise over run. So now I'm going to take the 3, the rise, and put it over the 2, the 1, run. Okay, what is 3 divided by 2? 1.5. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take the 1.5 and put it in the m spot. At the same time, as I do that, as I put this in the m spot, I'm picking one of these 2 ordered pairs. X, y, x, y. And I'm going to use the y and the x to fill in here and to fill in here. So I'll have 3 things filled in. M, y, and x. I'm going to use this ordered pair. X, y. Y is 10, so I put that in the y spot, 10 equals. So instead of writing y, I wrote 10 equals, because that's what y is. M, 1.5, times x. The x that's associated with the 10 is the 5. You can't split these up. So 1.5 times 5 plus b. I have 3 things. I have the m, I have the y, and I have the x. Now I'm using my equation solving skills to solve for b. Okay, 1.5 times 5, I'm distributing 1.5 times 5. Oh, it's 5 groups of 1.5, so it's going to be 5, 7.5. And I still have the plus b. There you go. Now I want b to be by itself. How am I going to get it by itself? I'm going to subtract 7.5. You see how I'm just using my equation solving skills that you've been practicing for the last 4 weeks. I'm going to shrink everything. Okay. 7.5. Take away 7.5 is 0. So all I have left on this side is b. And 10 minus 7.5 is going to be 2.5. So now I know what m is, and I also know what b is, and I'm ready to write the equation. Y equals 1.5x plus 2.5. Number 2. Write it down. I'm going to write it down as if it were a table. That's going to be a 6. 8. Rise over run. Now I can simplify this. I'm not going to divide 6 by 8 on my calculator. I'm going to not do that. I don't need to know the decimal for it. I am going to simplify the 6 and 8 by dividing them both by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So what I really have for my m is 3/4. Okay, pick an x and a y. Here or here. I'm picking these. Y, x, 8. 8 goes in the y spot. Y goes on x plus b. M, 3/4. Times x. X is 1. Plus b. Again, 3 things are filled in. Y, m, and x. 3/4 times 1 is 3/4. Use your equation solving skills. To get b by itself, subtract 3/4 on both sides. 8 minus 3/4 is going to come out to be 7 1/4. I have to shrink the screen here. So b is equal to 7 1/4. Now I have the 2 things I need to write an equation. Y equals, the m is 3/4. X and the b is 7 1/4. Number 3. We'll write it so it kind of looks like a table. Change in y. From 4 to 7 is 3. Change in x. From 2.5 to 6.5 is 4. Rise over run. Change in y over change in x. Same slope as we did the last time. Pick an x and a y. I'm going to pick this one. 4, the y, equals m, 3/4, x, 2.5, plus b. Now I multiply 3/4 times 2.75. That's going to be 1.875 plus b equal 4. And now I'm going to need to subtract, and I'm subtracting 1.875 on both sides. Okay, so now I'm doing 4 minus 1.875, and that comes out to be, whoops, I messed up, 4 minus 1.875. 2.125. Okay, I have both of the things that I need now. I need the m and the b, and I have both of them. And when I shrink my screen here, whoops. There we go. And so now I can write y equals, the m was 3/4, x plus the b was 2.125. Think about what you're doing. Don't just do these problems. Really think about what you had to do. Again, I started with what is the rise and what is the run that gives me the slope. After I had the rise and the run, by doing this, I plugged in a y and I plugged in an x and I solved for b. Okay, let's do the last problem. See if you can pause the video on this one and do it on your own. 6.2 and 8.3. Try to do this one on your own. 2. Change in y over change in x. That's really equal to 1. So m is 1. Pick an x and a y. I'm picking these two. X, y. I start with y. Y equals m x times x plus b. What does this mean? It means to multiply. 1 times 6 is 6. I need the b by itself, so I'm going to subtract 6 on both sides. Of course, this cancels, and b is equal to negative 4. I'm going to shrink the screen really fast. I have the m and I have the b. Y equals 1x minus 4. Now, one last comment. I would never write this way because this isn't in simplest form. Even though m is 1, and it means 1 times x, 1 times x is just x. So how I would really write this is y equals x minus 4. Done.